Hello everybody, Zerglings2 here, and today we are going to be trying something a little bit different. We're doing a Nuzlocke challenge, but it's going to be a round-robin Nuzlocke challenge. I kind of combed through YouTube a little bit, and I didn't really see if this has been done before, but I kind of thought it up in my downtime and was like, we gotta try this. So I've gathered myself and 3 other friends who will probably introduce themselves in their own segments of this. And essentially we're going to chunk through Pokemon Crystal in 30-minute increments. They gave me the first 30 minutes, so I'm the one responsible for picking our starter and naming our character and our rival. But yeah, I'm going to be starting this timer over here on the right, and when it reaches 30 minutes, I save. I drop the save file in a Dropbox or Google Drive or email it to someone. We haven't figured that part out yet. And someone else picks up the save and does another 30-minute chunk, and every 4 rotations I discover something new about how far we've gotten or how badly my friends have done at this. And some of us are still kind of new to Pokemon as a series, so it's going to be pretty interesting. Some ground rules. It's a Nuzlocke challenge. For anybody who doesn't know what a Nuzlocke challenge is, that means during your run you have to follow 3 basic rules. We haven't added any more, but there are modifiers other players like to use to make it more difficult for themselves. The first rule is you're only allowed to catch the first Pokemon you encounter on any given route. So you enter a route, you find a Pokemon in the tall grass, and if you catch it, it is yours until a certain point, which is described in rule number 2. Or if you kill it, that's it. You're not allowed to capture any more Pokemon on that route. You can still encounter them and you can grind for experience, but no more catches. Which kind of limits the amount of Pokemon you can get in a run, and it really limits the variety of what you're able to capture because it's kind of down to luck what appears on the route. For this rule, I am allowing eggs, so if we do not capture any Pokemon in a particular area and we receive an egg, that egg essentially will count as the capture for that area. And once we hatch it, whatever Pokemon hatches out of that is the Pokemon we quote-unquote captured from that area. Same thing with Pokemon obtained from working in the casino in Goldenrod City. I think there might be one in Celadon too, but it's been a while. So if you get a Pokemon from the casino in Celadon, you're not allowed to get anything else, or Goldenrod. You're not allowed to get any other Pokemon from there. Trades are completely allowed if they're the in-game trades, if you happen to have the Pokemon that you can trade to the other person, because those are basically a net zero. You have to lose one to get one. Aside from that, I think that pretty much explains rule number 1. Rule number 2 is if a Pokemon faints, it is considered dead, and therefore you bring it to the nearest PC and release it, which is kind of heartbreaking because rule number 3 is you have to nickname every single Pokemon you catch. If you don't nickname them, you have to automatically release them. The nicknames are meant to form an emotional bond between who is playing the game and the Pokemon they caught. I don't know how much that rule's going to play out in 30-minute segments with 4 different trainers operating the same trainer, but we'll see. You never know. So without any further ado, we are going to begin the run. Wish me luck. Or not. What the heck? My timer's doing weird things. There we go. Also, the pressure's really on right now because, oh, hold on. I'm going to call it 6 in the morning. 0 minutes. The pressure's on because I want to try and get to the point where I can nickname my rival, but in order to do that, I got to do it within 30 minutes, which could get tough. I don't remember how long the intro is, but I know you got to run an egg to Professor Elm, or no, from Elm to Oak. So it could be crazy. Yes. What was my name? Baloney. Yes. Bologna. I believe in you. We're going to take this all the way to the end on the first try. Nothing bad will happen until the other 3 people get a hold of your account. Is there an item in the PC? Of course not. Hello, Mom. Here's my favorite part in the beginning. You get to tell her, yes, I know how to use the Pokegear, and then she proceeds to tell you, oh, your phone. Yeah, I know how to use the cell phone. Proceeds to tell you how to use the cell phone, because, you know. Oh, today is Wednesday. Yes, sure, daylight savings time. Let's go for it. Of course I know how to use it. Gee, isn't that convenient? You know, even though this is kind of a speed run, I have to do this because it's great. Memories of my childhood. It's funny, that was actually considered some pretty top-notch graphics for back in the day. I remember when I was a kid, I was like, whoa, your character can fly? You can get kicked somewhere? Yes, I would love to raise one of your Pokemon. Alright, so I gave this one a little bit of thought. I'm personally not a fan of any of Gen 2's starters. I don't like them. They're kind of all crap. But for this run, we want to pick the tankiest thing because it's a Nuzlocke run. We don't want anything getting one-shot on us. The problem is that tanky one is Chikorita. And Chikorita is probably one of the worst picks for this game. Because... not Cyndaquil. I don't even remember which ball it is. Probably gonna be the third one, no my luck. Ah, there it is, it's the third one. The problem with Chikorita is it kind of gets crapped on by like all of the gyms in this game. The first gym is a flying type, the second one's a bug type. It's kind of null and void against Whitney. Then you have to go against Morty, which is basically ghost and poisons, which you're also weak against. Yeah, let's go with that. The hummus Pokemon. And then you've got an ice gym, you've got a fighting gym, which it's got a water Pokemon, so you might be okay against it, but it's not anything you're really good against. A dragon gym, and a steel gym, and yeah, you don't really have any advantages during that with a grass type starter. And the other two are just awkward because in this generation, the type of move you use is what determines the stat you take from. So let's say you've got a super high attack for Alligator, you're kind of out of luck. There's the one encounter for this map. You're kind of out of luck because water type depends on your special stat. So you no longer get a same type attack bonus on a move that also draws from your strongest stat. It's just kind of, you know, everything is just kind of weaker than it could be. It's not as potent. Cyndaquil's got it a little better because it has a higher special stat than it does physical, and it's a fire type, so it gets that nice little stab bonus. Same type attack bonus, stab. The only problem with it is its move pool is kind of trash, and it doesn't really have very many good coverage options. It doesn't really have good ways to stay alive. It's not the bulkiest thing in the world. It's kind of easy to beat, so it's taken a lot of risks into your hands in a Nuzlocke challenge that you wouldn't normally want to take into your hands. And I'm notorious for my starters dying in Nuzlocke challenges, so I figure if I'm only spending a quarter of the time on this account, maybe there's a chance that I'm not the one who kills the starter in this one. So basically my goals for this particular broadcast, at bare minimum, I want to make it to the rivalry naming. If I can make it there, I'm already happy. Beyond that, I want to try and get to the route that is directly north of this one, which I'll pass by the gate in just a second. because there's a chance of catching both Fanpy and Geodude on that route. Fanpy is just all around rare, and Donphan is a beast if you can get a hold of it, so that's always a plus. And Geodude is great because you can use it to cheese the first 3 gyms. You know, Whitney gets completely trashed by it. Rollout doesn't do very much against Geodude, and you can defense curl through it and raise your stats. And it just completely like nullifies the flying types and the bug types you have to face in the first 2 gyms. So that is always a good one to have on you. We'll see if I get lucky enough. Oh, I should probably get this. Yeah. Let's go. So if I can grab a Geodude, that would be great. And beyond that, I'll probably just go to the route north of Cherry Grove and grind levels for a little bit. If I even have any time left at that point. I might. We'll see. I've already used up almost a third of my time, but I'm also almost halfway through. Let's go. And this is my house. Come on in if you want. Creepy. Alright. Don't find one, don't find one, don't find one, don't find one. Yes. Come on. But only found an antidote. Yo, if we can get through this without finding a Pokemon and not having to use up our encounter for this route, that would be... nope. That would be impossible. Oh well, I wouldn't have wanted a Caterpie anyways. That would just make us ultra weak against the Flying Gym. Oh no, don't miss. Hit attacks. I need to get through this. So the other 3 people that are doing this run with me, I know one of them is like a super competitive player. He has a lot of experience in Platinum, Diamond Platinum version, but he hasn't played Gen 2 to my knowledge. Another one of them stopped at Gen 2, so he only knows up to this gen, which means like he might be the freshest out of all of us, I guess, because this is where all of his nostalgic Pokemon memories come from. And the third one that I'm playing with has kind of dabbled in the games up to Gen 5, but hasn't really played them like super seriously or anything. Ah, yes, the Mystery Egg. And Professor Oak. And says this takes place after the events of Gen 1. He's kind of met me twice by now. I see. I understand why Professor Oak picked you for this errand. Also, in future plays of this, I will be a lot better about skipping through all this text. I just really want to get to that rival naming. Because I kind of want to just put in a name that's going to surprise anyone who has to fight him in the future. Alright. Yes, heal me. Thank you. There's a berry tree over here that I should probably... Oh, right. Cell phone. Hello? Someone stole from the lab. Who could it be? It's question mark, question mark, question mark. Who we will be encountering soon. And I think I have time. I'm going to stop by the berry house and grab some berries just to have. Also, that's why I set the game time, going back on the whole catching the Fanpy or Geodude, that's kind of why I set the game time for morning, because I believe Fanpy can only be caught in the morning hours. It's been a while, but I remember way back when I was a little kid and I had the guidebook for this game, reading that and being like, oh my gosh, I have to make sure I play that area in the morning. I think it's still like a 5% chance or something like that though, so probably won't be getting it this run, but you never know. The last time I Nuzlocked this, I actually got Skarmory on the route right before the Elite Four, or kind of right after the 8th town, which I thought was a stroke of good luck. Yeah, I wonder how many people have actually done a round robin Nuzlocke. I feel like I'd want to do this on like all of the games. It'd be pretty fun. Oh yeah, I'll have plenty of time. This is great. All right, question mark, question mark, question mark. Time to meet your reckoning. I went the wrong way. Who's this mysterious red-headed villain? Don't call me a wimp. You're about to get your crap served to you, man. I'm the future champion of this region. Also, if you pick Chikorita, he gets a fire type, which will be less cumbersome to deal with than his Croconaw. I feel like Croconaw just makes him like one of the hardest things to have to beat in the game. Like around the mid-game when he's got Bite, and I think he learns Slash, which can get pretty obnoxious. There's not a whole lot you can use to counter Croconaw that's like going to be strong at that point. Was about to have to use a potion there. I forgot it came with a berry. Probably should have taken that off because I think there's like a Miltank later in the game you can give berries to get a reward. It's been a long time. But I remember wanting to save those as a kid. I think I missed out on the opportunity to do that last time I Nuzlocked this, which was a few years ago. Bye! Alright, let's heal up. Gotta get back to the lab so I can name him. Not too far. Oh well. More XP for me. Butt wiggle. That's the other thing that was cool about this game. When it first came out, it was the first time you got animations on Pokemon, period. You know, they were all stale up until Crystal version. Gold and Silver even, the sprites would come out and they would just be sprites. They wouldn't really be active or moving, but you got a little bit of movement in this game. It really added a nice touch to it. Honestly, it made the entire game feel new for me because I played Gold and then got Crystal when it came out. And we have Razor Leaf, which is not as broken as Razor Leaf in the first game. But looks cooler. I wonder what the others are going to think when they see that I started with this one. Because I'm sure they have a general idea of the fact that it's probably not the optimal starter. Yes, I happened to get his name. Enema Man. For any people in the younger audience watching this, feel free to ask your parents what that is. It's not the most inappropriate thing in the world. It is a medically usable procedure, but it's also great to see the look on their face. Where did you learn that word? All right. And now we get Pokeballs. Woohoo! Cool. And I will be a kind and wonderful child and visit my mom. Yeah, let's make the mom savings account. Actually, wait, I should change that. We don't need dolls and stuff. I don't remember how to cancel that. Do I go back in? Alright, I think that might have changed it. Ah, yes, the catching tutorial. Can I say no? Peace. I will say finding a Geodude is going to be great, but it's also going to take a lot of effort to catch. I'm going to be using a lot of tackles up. I hope I don't find like a Rattata or something. Probably just jinx myself there. But we'll see. We'll see. I have high hopes. I also have to get through a lot of grass. Oops. Critical hit, 2 damage. If nothing else, Chikorita is definitely bulky. Alright, boys and girls, cross your fingers. Let's see what we get. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Okay. And it's level 2 as well. Oh no. Oh Lord. Well, the least I can do is catch it, call it Trash Rat or something, and see if it sticks around. I guess. I won't call it Trash Rat. I'll call it something more refined than that. I'll give it the nickname that my dad uses when he plays this game. As homage to the man that raised me and beat all my gym battles for me when I was a little kid. Alright, let's start raising you. You're gonna have to get big and strong and learn Hyper Fang, and if you don't, I'll cry a little bit. Because that was a route wasted. So we've got 9.5 minutes left, which is a potential lot of grinding. And I'm not like in a huge rush to fight all the trainers up there on that other route, so I'll leave that to whoever takes over for me, which will be my good friend Zero Wolf. Zero Wolf. Maybe I'll buy him some potions too. I'm a kind soul. So, in alternate Nuzlocke runs, some of the rules involved that I've seen limit the number of times you can use a Pokemon Center, which is super strategic, especially in cities with gyms. You have to figure out what you're doing there. And others limit the usage of items or how many you can buy. I like doing those runs where you can only buy a certain number of items or none at all. I'll find enough. This is a good start. And hopefully I can get the Rattata to like maybe level 4 by the end of this. Maybe. I mean, 4 will put it in good striking distance of at least being able to just raise itself. And tackles on Rattata, because it gets that stab bonus for being normal type, I mean, it's not the worst setup in the beginning of the game. It can be pretty powerful. Hop it. Wait, this only knows Splash. I remember you. We're gonna get some levels on you in about 10 minutes. So I have a lot of ideas for this run. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do yet. I just know that you can definitely prank people big time if you're doing this whole like rotation thing. I mean, if you throw a Pokemon they don't know about in the PC and they don't go looking, I mean, if you don't want something to die, throw it in the PC and just hope your teammates think it died in the previous part of the run. There we go, level 4, look at that. I mean, geez, at this rate, I actually might just start fighting the trainers. That's a pretty modestly powerful tackle. Look at that, I can even beat it in 4 hits. You go, Ratty Poop. I believe in you. Four and a half minutes remaining. What can I do in that time? I've done a lot already. Another one of the rules about this I totally forgot to mention. We are not allowed to look and watch any of the previous videos until we are a full rotation in. So I'm not going to be allowed to watch what the other 3 players do during these first 4 runs until I have finished my upcoming run after this one. Meaning I'll have like no context to anything that happens when I pick it up next time. It'll be great. That's kind of what we're intending here. It's got to be round robin in the sense that you don't even know what you're being handed when you first turn it on. I'll probably have to do like an inventory every time I start one of these 30-minute segments, but I think 30 minutes is enough time. It's a comfortable amount. We get a Pokemon Center run in. I have to set the text speed higher if I haven't already. Yeah, I think I forgot to do that. Let me check. Oh, no, it's fast. Cool. Some other things I've experimented with is you can actually change the battle mode from shifts to set, which, in case you don't know what that means, and you'll see it in the next video probably, when a trainer goes to send out their second Pokemon after you beat them, you can switch at the same time they do under shift, which is a lot more forgiving. Set anchors your Pokemon to the battlefield when they switch and they send out their next Pokemon. It's kind of like how battling actually works in multiplayer, but it means they can send out things that counter you and might have to force a switch or 2 during a battle. And instead of getting the switch in for free, you have to switch out and risk taking a hit from the Pokemon they throw on the field. Which is kind of like how I've liked playing this game recently, but since I'm not playing with just me, I'm probably just going to play with shift this one. Or I can always just change it to set for myself, but then I might start losing Pokemon. I don't know how confident I am. Ladybug. I think those might only be available in the morning too, but again, it's been a while. Yeah, the next person who picks this up had better be happy, because I think I left them with a decent setup. Not a Geodude, but there's always still Dark Cave, and if not Dark Cave, we might be able to catch a Bellsprout, which we could trade for an Onix in Violet Town. Violet City. Violet something. Violetburg. So we'll see. And I'm probably not going to get out of this battle before the timer runs out, which means whoever starts off the next episode is going to have an injured Rattata in the front of their party. And hopefully they will understand that they should heal that and not lose it immediately. I might be able to heal it. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. I'll throw a potion on it. I bought enough. Pack. Potion use. Wait, berry. We're not going to use the Miltank. Let's be real. Okay. Saving my progress. And, this was a decent first run. Kind of on the uneventful side, but, you know, it'll get better in the future. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time.